This is it. Wow, dude. Hello YouTube, N60 Fortress here. We're doing something a bit more left field today. We're going to go through my Pokemon card collection from the 90s, maybe early 2000s, but yeah, over 20 years this has just stayed stationary as it is, and I want to bring it to the channel, tell a few cool stories about how I accumulated some of this, those that I can remember, and sort of document it for going forwards because, you know, memories fade and all that. So yeah, I just think it'd be an interesting story to tell, really. No need to panic and unsubscribe if Pokemon's not your thing. It's only going to be a one-off episode. It's actually my birthday today, yesterday for you guys. So I'm 37 years old now, and I was playing my Game Boy the other day, and I just thought, you know what, I've still got my Pokemon cards. There's some good ones in there, I believe. You know, I was absolutely astonished by what some of these sell for and full sets sell for. And yeah, I just thought it'd be interesting content for some of you out there. Not everyone, I get it. I know Pokemon carries a certain stigma about it, I guess, and I agree to a point, but you know, at my age I was very much into that first generation of Pokemon. I love Pokemon games, the movie, the cartoon, just the cards. We'll get into the cards, and yeah, how could you not really in that sort of period of life? I know people that might be a couple of years older, it probably passed them by because it was probably deemed too immature. Just some housekeeping, because there is a stigma attached to them. One, I own my own house. It is mortgaged, but I live in my own house. I'm not still living with my parents. Two, I've got two sons, so I've had sex at least twice. And three, these are genuinely my cards since the 90s. I've got no reason to lie. I haven't just bought these the other day for thousands of pounds and looking for clout saying, hey, look at my childhood cards, when I've really spent loads on them. These are genuinely my childhood cards. I've owned them for over 20 years, like I say. And yeah, it is astonishing what some of them are worth. And also it's nice that I had the oomph and drive as a collector even back then to get things done. So yeah, without further ado then, let's take off the tripod and look at some of these Pokemon cards, shall we? All right, let's get into it. So this is my custom folder that I made. Like, this is mine, my dodgy permanent marker. Yeah, Pokemon cards with a Pokeball in this. I think it was just like a random binder, like one that you just put work in. Like, that's all it is, you know. I couldn't even do a proper circle. I didn't even use a compass. Look, that's just so off it. But yeah, so yeah, Pokemon. So Pokemon was a thing in the 90s, early 2000s, like we know, and it was my sort of thing primarily in middle school. So for those of you who don't know, or foreign or whatever, middle school is like from age 9 to 13, I believe. So it's most definitely in that window that these were accumulated. I believe I was about year 6, so year 2000 to 2001. Anything after 2001, I think I sort of moved on from Pokemon cards. So that was the window that we're dealing with, that all this was sort of like accumulated. Maybe a little bit after as well, 2002 perhaps, but that's as far as it would have gone, I would have thought. I'm sure by high school this wasn't a thing anymore. So yeah, let's get into it then. So this is Ancient Mew. I'm not going to get any of them out, by the way. I know people will you know, not like that, but yeah, this is Ancient Mew, and I basically got that from a car boot for £1. We'll come back to this later, but I actually bought 2 of them. They're not sealed, obviously. It came in a little seal with this and that card. I'd never seen it before. Apparently it was some to do with the Pokemon film. There were a giveaway or something like that. I don't know the ins and outs. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. But I actually bought 2 of these with my pocket money. I used to have £5 a week pocket money, and I invested in 2 of those for £1. I'll tell you what happened to the other one later, because that becomes important. And yeah, we have the full base set. I managed to accumulate all of them. So how many are there? 102 in the base set. So yeah, they're all here, starting with Alakazam. They're not all the best condition, I'm not going to lie. Like, this Blastoise is very, very used in comparison. Like, you can't tell from this, but you can see a bit of silvering around the edges, and yeah, it's a little scratched as well, which you can't see from that angle, but there are some decent ones in here. Okay, Chansey's got a bit of wear in the corner there. The Charizard is decent, so this is a real sore one. So yeah, we'll tell the story. Basically, I didn't used to collect Pokemon cards. I had a friend who pretty much had the full set, and he had this Charizard here, and I decided to buy a pack of Pokemon cards, and I don't know why, but I said, if I get Charizard, he was like, if you get Charizard, can I have it and you can have this one? You know, he was older than me, and I guess I felt compelled. I didn't collect them. I was like, okay. In the end, lo and behold, I bought one pack and I did pull a Charizard, and what are the chances? I couldn't believe it. But to me, this was still very good condition, and it is. It's just got a bit of silver at the top there, which he was a bit funny about. But in the main, this is far better than many you see. I pulled the Charizard and I gave him mine. He gave me this one. But he also, I think he pretty much gave me every Pokemon card in the base set. All the commons and uncommons, so it helped me on my way. So basically I got this, plus all the commons and uncommons, which I'll go on to show you, in exchange for the brand new Charizard that I got. Obviously with hindsight, I probably shouldn't have done it, but at the time it felt like a good deal. And this is how much, or how my accumulation was, this was how my set was accumulated. It was through a lot of trading like that. So spending money on cards wasn't, you know, a big occurrence for me. Like I said, I got £5 a week pocket money. It was about £2.50 for a pack of Pokemon cards. So I couldn't regularly go out buying Pokemon cards in bulk. It just wasn't a thing for me. So yeah, we've got some other good ones here. None of them will be absolutely minty. They are in these little sleeves within them, a lot of them. You know, you can see there, it's a sleeve within it, but I did my best to look after them. You know, I kept them in these wallets. And yeah, you know, if you're really into high-end grading, you'll be able to pick faults with a lot of these, but they're far nicer than some you see, without a doubt. Good old Zapdos there, legendary bird. Raichu was actually the last one I needed to complete the set. I think I got that for about £5 from a car boot. Yeah, I used to go to car boot sales, and that's where I got the Mew, Ancient Mew from, like I said. And Raichu was the last one I needed, and I think I shelled out about £5 for that just to get the set done. I had trouble finding it. It's not exactly rare, but that was just the one that had evaded me. But, you know, if you ask me the story behind Venusaur, I just can't remember. I really can't remember. I traded my way to get most of these. But yeah, so basically that's where the rare ones finish, is it? Or no, these are rare, but not, the stars mean rare, right? So, I don't know, he might have given me some of these ones as well, but basically I got the Charizard that you see there, plus I'm pretty sure, like all these diamond ones, for example, from like Arcane onwards, and Charmeleon and so on, all these were given to me, and they were in pretty decent condition. They were his spares, because he bought cards a lot. So I basically had a lot of the set done, and these aren't hard to get really. Commons and uncommons weren't exactly hard to get, but you'd always end up with a stack of energy cards, wouldn't you, a spare and stuff. But he basically gave me all of these, so I didn't have to, you know, sort of collect them. So that's just down to the energy cards. We're getting towards the end now. So that's where the base set finishes, right? This coin thing, I think it came in the, I don't know how I got hold of this, because I didn't buy them, but I think I got given to me, but I'm pretty sure they came in the big, they did do big packs of cards, didn't they? Like the jumbo boxes where you got several packets. Apparently they came within that, and that's a base set 1 token that you'd get. So yeah, all of these, they were given to me by that guy who I gave my Charizard brand new to in exchange. In hindsight, I wouldn't have done it, but you know, at the time it felt like a good deal. It propelled me into getting the collection pretty quickly without spending loads of money. He might have even given me some of the rare ones like Electabuzz and stuff, and you know, all these ones as well. I honestly can't remember. I just know that a lot of this was given to me in exchange, plus the slightly less good Charizard. It's not bad. I'll take it out later and put it on overlay, but yeah, just that little bit at the top there, unfortunately. But my friend says this would still clear £100 at least in this sort of condition. He sold much worse. Shout out to Dan. He actually deals in Pokemon cards, not just these retro ones, but also the newer ones as well. So yeah, that's the full base set really. And from my understanding, in this sort of condition, not terrible, but not mint or anything like that, you're looking at least £1,000 now interestingly, I don't really speak to that lad anymore that we did the trade with. You know, you just sort of drift apart over the years. But I remember that he sold his Pokemon cards when we were about 17, 18, I think. You know, the sort of age where you start going out drinking and stuff, and you know, you don't want these lying around as clutter. And he got about £100 from them, which at the time it felt pretty good. It was like, wow, £100. And you know, over the last 18 years since he sold them, they've 10x'd from there. So you're looking at £1,000, or even more than 10x, more than 1,000. That Charizard in that condition, it was brand new. He would have gone home, put it straight in a sleeve like this. Yeah, I mean, that's mint. That's, you know, as good as it gets. He put it straight into a sleeve when I gave it him, and yeah, that would have been gradable, guaranteed it would have been gradable. So that's worth a lot, and somebody else has that now. Or it's probably changed hands a few times, I'd expect. I doubt the person who bought it off him still has it. And yeah, that takes us on to the Dark set. So yeah, we have a full Dark set here. Yeah, I can't remember the ins and outs how I obtained a lot of these. All I know is I got a lot of them. So if we go back to the Ancient Mew, I bought it for £1 at the car boot. Some poor soul got absolutely rinsed. So he had, excuse me, he had Dark Charizard plus a load of other rare ones. And I basically traded him my Ancient Mew that cost me £1 for Dark Charizard Shiny, plus a lot of other rare Dark of Pokemon cards. I can't remember exactly now. All I remember is Dark Charizard was one. I think Ancient Mew goes for about £50 in that sort of condition, but Dark Charizard, you're looking at nearer 100, I think. So even by today's standards, trading Ancient Mew for Dark Charizard Shiny is a good deal. It's in an absolutely, you know, top end condition as well, really. By my standards, obviously I'm not a collector, so somebody could pick out faults with it, but to my eyes, that looks pretty good to me. Obviously Dragonite's got some issues, so not so much the case. Dark Hypno is the worst one in this set. It was the last one I needed. I never replaced it over the years when I probably should have. It's terrible condition, really. You can see some of the foil sort of scratched there. It's got creases all over it. I remember getting it and I was just like relieved to complete the set. But yeah, it's one that I never replaced, really. And you know, the thought occurred to me over the years to perhaps yeah, either replace, but this is what I collected back in the day, and in a way it's kind of proof that I'm not lying, really. You know, if I wanted a perfect collection to showcase to you guys, then that's what I would do. But this is what I collected, and that's what it is. So I'm quite happy with it, really. I mean, it's annoying because I'm fussy, but that was the last one I got, and I was just happy with any condition. So, and this one looks a bit bent, to be honest. I don't know if that's just the folder's been bent, but it's a bit annoying. But yeah, some really nice looking cards in the Dark set. It was really one that I was really keen to collect. I think they did other sets, didn't they? Like there was definitely the fossils, but also there was the other one, the green set, whatever it was called. Can't remember now. It was like the jungle set, that was it. Yeah. But yeah, Weezing. I used to like Weezing and Team Rocket. Great, funny looking Pokemon. And this first generation of Pokemon was the best. When they started adding more in, I lost interest. And it just coincided with when I sort of got older and matured, really. So, you know, you get to the sort of age where you outgrow it, don't you? And as soon as that first 151 Pokemon started growing was exactly the time where I just started losing interest. So when they started releasing all these new ones, Silver, Gold, I just outgrew it. I was more interested in going out getting drunk and stuff. So, yeah. I can't remember how I got all the commons and uncommons. I think, again, I had a lot of help with that from the same guy who helped me with the base set. I think he was collecting them, then decided not to bother going for it in the end, and he gave me a load, or I traded him or gave him some money. I can't remember exactly now, but it wouldn't have been much. We were, you know, pretty good friends, so, you know, it would have been mates rates. And yeah, just commons and uncommons, all this lot. It's nothing special. But that takes us on to a really unique one. So this one, again, got the token there. I believe it's from the Dark sets that you got in the Jumbo Pack, but someone else might be able to correct me if I'm wrong, if they know more. That's the reason it's there to my mind, but I might be wrong. But this one, Dark Raichu, it was a really unique one. That crease is on the wallet, not the card. Because you see there, it says 83 out of 82. So this, I believe, was the first sort of unique card where that was a thing. That is just the wallet creased, I'm sure of it, because this card was like really nice condition. I don't want to take it out this sleeve. That crease is in the sleeve. But the story behind this sticks with me because it's such a bizarre story. So basically, I had a friend, again, I don't speak to this friend anymore. He kind of went off grid, and it's a shame really because we got on really well. But anyway, he had this card and it was his pride and joy, perhaps because of this sort of mysterious figure it had with it, and no one really knew what or why that was there. And I don't even know how he obtained it. I can't remember now. He might have told me. But he used to carry it around with him everywhere. And then there was this one day, he kind of misplaced it, and he basically accused me of stealing it. He was like, I know you've got it because I haven't got it, you know. And he was begging with me. He was just like, please, just give it back. You know, I'll let you have it if you just, I just want you to be honest with me. And I was like, honestly. And it got to the stage where like, I'm like, have I taken it? It's like, you know what I mean? The level of accusation, and you know when you haven't done something wrong, but you're being accused to that sort of degree, you sort of like, you start doubting yourself and all this. It was really horrible. And then, I don't know, moments later, I think he just checked some more pockets again, and it was in a different pocket or something like that. And it was like, and he just said, oh, I'm so sorry. And he was very sincere, like, I can't believe I've been accusing you. Because we were good friends, you know, it's not something I would do. I never mugged my friend off like that. And he said, you know, I want you to have it. And I was like, no, look, I'm just glad you found it. Let's just leave it at that. And he was so insistent. He wouldn't let me not have it. I tried my best to say, look, I'm glad you found it. Just let's leave it at that. And he was like, no, I want you to have it. And I guess it was his way of saying sorry. And well, I collected Dark at the time, so I accepted it. I was like, yeah, okay, I do need it. But, you know, looking back, you're like, why didn't I make sure that he kept it? But he insisted, honestly, he didn't want it anymore. I think he'd already accepted that he'd lost it in that moment. But I really did try and say, no, just, I'm glad you found it. But he insisted, I guess, and he didn't want it anymore. I really did try, and that's all I can say. And he let me have it, and that's how it wound its way into my collection. And I remember that story so clearly. That would have been about 2001 at the very latest. Yeah, it's unique looking back, really. But yeah, that's one that sticks with me, really. Whereas, you know, some of these individual ones I couldn't possibly tell you. So how many are in the Rocket set then? So that, yeah, 83 out of 82. So there's 83 in total. And then that takes us on to Fossil, and you'll see it is incomplete. There's some lovely condition ones here, like, oh no, that's a bit scratched actually. There's some that I definitely pulled brand new. I remember buying some of these like in a pack, and I think Hitmonlee, that's like pretty much new condition, because I think I pulled that one. I think I pulled Kabutops shiny. Yeah, maybe not actually, that one's a bit clipped. Yeah. Okay, I didn't pull that one. I think Hitmonlee I did. And yeah, but look, it's a set that I never finished, and I've always thought over the years, you know, shall I finish this? And I always wound up on the same thing. Like, over the years, Pokemon cards have just gone up in price. So I've always been like, okay, I don't want to pay 10 quid for Articuno shiny, 20 quid now, 25 quid, whatever it is, just to fill this space here, you know? And what it is, this is a frozen snapshot in time. It's where I collected. I'd already successfully completed these sets. I basically did the base, the Dark, and then went on to this. I didn't start this and then get bored and go on to this. It was that, Dark, and then I started the Fossil. I'm not saying Fossil came out before that, or I can't remember what came out. If anything, I think Fossil came out first, but I think I did that, then the Dark, and then I went back to do the Fossils. But yeah, I didn't. It's just frozen snapshot in time. I never finished. Some of the packs I did buy new, like I said. I remember pulling Hitmonlee. And they're about £2.50 a pack of cards. They weren't cheap, you know. It wasn't something I did overly. I got a lot of these just from trading. But yeah. So it's only the rares that are incomplete. So there's some shinies missing. And obviously it's one of those sets where there's unshiny versions as well. So I've got the unshiny Articuno there. And then once it gets to the Zapdos, and then you get to the standard, the medium rare and the commons, or commons and uncommons I should say, they're all complete. So I completed the set, just all the standard stuff. Again, I think that was the fossil token there with Aerodactyl on that came in the jumbo box. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, please. But yeah, that's it. And there is some stuff just at the back, just leftover spares that I had, you know. And some of these are more than one card in them as well. See? You know, there's several in there. Just to squeeze them in really, but nothing special here. There's no shinies or anything, I don't think. Yeah, nothing special, and these have just been here for years. Just never thought about getting rid of them or anything. These are a different type of card. I like that Mew there, it's pretty cool. But I never collected these. I think these were a gift from my little cousin. I think he just said, I don't want them anymore, and he gave them to me, and I just shoved them in the wallet. And yeah, you know, I don't know if these are worth anything, probably not. I think they're pretty just commons and uncommons, but arguably I could just sell them because I don't need them. They're just sat at the back of this folder. But yeah, if anyone's interested in them, let me know. But yeah, I have considered selling my Pokemon cards over the years. Like, I'm not a massive Pokemon guy, but you know, it's my history, isn't it? And if I sell these, I'm never getting them back. Like, there's no way I'm going to go pay more to buy them all back. And if I let go of them, it's because I'm letting go forever. And I've never managed to get to that point where I'm prepared to just let go of them. Valuation-wise, actually, the Dark set is worth at least £1,000 complete, I believe. There's some on eBay. In the main, these are all fabulous condition. Obviously, I've told you about Hypno's pretty rough. Dragonite's got a bit of damage there. That was a tricky one to find from memory. But in the main, look, they're pretty good. And so all in all, you're looking well over £2,000 for the lot here. And there's definitely a case for like just selling these and getting your money, right, and just cashing out. But I don't know. There's just so many nice memories here, and I'm not desperate for the money, so like, why should I sell them, you know? And that's how I've always landed. You know, every time I've contemplated it, I always land at the same point. This is my childhood right here, you know? And yeah, for that reason, I haven't sold up. And like I said, this is just the snapshot in time. Probably as late as it got, like 2001, where I stopped. I lost interest in Pokemon, you know? I grew out of it and started pursuing other things, like high school, everything that came with that, playing football, getting to year 10 where you start going out drinking underage and so on, girls, all that sort of thing really. And this became just a thing of the past. But fortunately I did keep hold of it, and even when mates sold up and, oh, I got £100 for my set, me being me, you know, I'm a collector, right? It's just ingrained within me. And so even at that age, even back then, even then, I kept hold of my stuff. So that's my story. I hope you've enjoyed this trip down memory lane. It's been something a little bit different. And yeah, let me know what you think of this. Yeah, I know they do carry value, and just to be sat in a box in the loft, is that really what you want to be doing? Just sitting on a couple of £1,000 in cards? I don't know. Like I said, it's not my thing. I have absolutely no interest in collecting more of these. I've got no interest in completing that fossil set. Like I said, it's a snapshot in time, and I don't want to spend more money and pursue something that I'm not terribly interested in. Like, don't get me wrong, Pokemon cards they're all right, but I just don't have that drive to collect them, or that level of interest really, and that's okay, right? You know, you don't have to remain fully interested in something that was from your childhood, but it's nice to have what you did have back then to look back on and reflect on, and just remember that point in time quite fondly. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please drop a like, add a comment, let me know some of your memories from Pokemon card days, if you have any. Let me know your thoughts on some of the cards. Obviously some absolute belters here, and some in not so good condition, but yeah, it's nice that I had the nous to the business acumen to pick up 2 of these at £1 a pop, because it's highly likely that I probably wouldn't have gone on to complete the Rocket set without doing that, because like I said, I got Dark Charizard and some other unique rare ones that got me well on my way to completing this set, and had I not done that, I don't think I would have come across that sort of naturally. Oh, I forgot to mention, so Pokemon cards in my middle school, they actually got banned. So people would go around, like people would be holding their stack of cards, and then people would just go like and crash into them, so they dropped them everywhere. And I want to say people, not me. And you know, other people, they'd fly everywhere, and people would just sort of grab them, pick them up and run off with them. It's really bad looking back, you know, really ruthless. And you know, after lunch, you'd have people coming around the classrooms going, has anyone got my Charizard? Like, you know what I mean? Like, as if anyone's going to go, yeah, I've got it, you know, do you want it back? Like, I remember that happened on multiple occasions, and in the end they got banned because of that. And it's just mad really, like, looking back, like, what a strange time, you know, and sad that people did that as well. But some things never change, right? You hear about it now, like even stores, because Pokemon cards are really valuable, even the new ones and stuff like that, even though they're only just released. They're not retro, but they're instantly worth loads of money, which blows my mind, by the way. And stores are getting robbed. Shops are having to shut down because their stock is just getting nicked and stuff. And people are doing full-on heists, not for gold, not for cash, for Pokemon cards. It blows my mind. Some things never change though. People had that theft mentality in school, and quite a sort of caveman sort of mentality to doing it. I'll just knock them all out of their hands. Somebody else comes and picks them up and runs off with them. It's just, yeah, crazy memories. If any of you went to St. John's Middle School in Bromsgrove, do you remember that? Like, you know, that's where I went, and that's what happened. They got banned. So yeah, interesting times really. I hope you've enjoyed this trip down memory lane. I'm aware this has dragged on a little bit longer than I'd intended. If you enjoyed the video, like I said, drop a like, add a comment, let me know your memories of Pokemon cards. And if you're new to the channel or a returning viewer and you aren't yet subscribed, why not? Please consider doing so. We're trying to build this place up. Thank you for watching, everyone, and I'll see you on the next one. I wanna be the very best that no one ever was. To catch them is my real test. To train them is my cause. Pokemon, gotta catch them all.